Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us on our first podcast. We are so excited to get this going. So I am Galee, and this is Orlandice.
Hi everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
And so this is Pampas and Pencils. It is our first ever podcast. It's our first episode as well. Yeah. It has been a long time coming. We've been planning this for, I guess, like the last month. I guess maybe less than a month.
Yeah, especially trying to plan it in between all of our businesses and our adventures separately and trying to come together. I know Wednesdays is our days.
Yeah.
We work till about 3 a.m.
Yes. Oh, well, yeah. There's like last week we intended to work till 9. I think that's what we were like. We're like, okay, we're gonna work till 9 p.m. And then the creative juices just were flowing, and then I ended up napping on Orlandice's couch for like 20 minutes because I needed a power nap. And then I woke up and I was like, let's go.
True entrepreneur here.
Yeah. So yeah, I just want to thank you guys for joining us on our first podcast. We are so excited to share this with everyone and just to share and open up our lives and, you know, have a platform to share that.
Absolutely. I think that this platform for us is just kind of share our story and our backgrounds and how like the struggles and the tribulations that an entrepreneur goes through, especially juggling the daily life of family and personal and exactly what struggles we exactly go through. It's pretty tough to kind of run a business out there and kind of juggle the daily lives of our personal.
Especially through a pandemic.
Yes, a pandemic. And kids.
Yeah. I don't have kids, so I don't know exactly how that feels, but I can only imagine that with my life and how chaotic it is right now, throwing 1 or 2 kids into the mix is going to be crazy.
Oh, I bring my daughters with us, and I think that's enough birth control for... Yeah. Yeah, she's like, goes home, no kids for a while. Yeah.
I'll just babysit for an hour. That's all I need.
What to look forward to our upcoming episodes. We are going to get real deep and dirty into the daily lives and being real about, you know, some subjects that aren't, you know, showcased out in our
social media.
Yeah. I feel like social media kind of puts that facade on, you know, it's all roses, but there's some thorns behind it. And I'm really excited that we have a guest lineup already.
Yay, that's exciting.
Yes.
Yeah, you mentioned that yesterday.
Yes, yeah. I'm so stoked. I reached out to some guest speakers that will be guest hosting with us in the next coming episodes. So that's something that we can look forward to.
Yeah. We're so excited. Like the purpose of this podcast is that, you know, we want to have a platform where we can share our authentic, real selves. Facebook and social media, Instagram is we want to showcase the highlight reels of our business and ourselves, but like there's not really a platform that we can share our authentic self. And podcasting was like the first thing that we both agreed on, like that we think it would just be valuable to, you know, not only potential or our existing customers, but also like our family and friends.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. It's because some of them, we never get to see them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, my friends and families who are watching this, it's like, this is me in the flesh of my entrepreneurial spirit, but also sharing all the details of things that nobody sees.
I agree. And, you know, Galee and I have been brought up by parents that worked in the industry that they've taught us. I know especially my dad have really influenced, and also my mom, but my dad have really influenced that artistic business mind and working in the industry. So I kind of, you know, want to share this like journey with him.
Yeah. Oh, that's going to be so amazing.
Yeah.
So I guess what to look forward to is we're going to have guest speakers like Orlandice was saying. We're also going to be hosting workshops. So in real life, You can attend these workshops in Edmonton, if you're listening from Edmonton. And so some of the guest speakers that we're going to have are going to be featured in our workshops. But essentially, our workshops are going to be more of like a creative outlet for people. So, inviting people to get back into that tapping into that social aspect of our lives. It's been long coming where we're stuck in the same four walls, so we hope that these workshops are a great way for people to come back out and kind of dabble in something creative, and just be able to relax and have fun and have a drink in hand.
Yeah, I agree that these workshops are, it's for us to kind of get away. I know the pandemic has really put a damper on a lot of our, I guess, mental well-being.
Yeah.
And especially when, as business owners, and we do go through these ups and downs, and we need to find ourselves and kind of have a creative, like you said, a creative outlet. So bringing in these really cool artists, so we could create something creative for your space, as well, in a beautiful venue. So we have partnered up some venues around the city. We get to start with the Foundry Room,
which is so beautiful. I'm so excited to partner up with Foundry Room.
So we have some really exciting projects that we're working on that we'll be showcasing in each of the workshops.
Mm-hmm.
And just to start, our workshops are starting in May. So I know we're heading into February, because we're taping February, but this is a March 1st episode launch.
Yes.
So May would be our first workshop. We will be adding all of our details on our social medias.
Mm-hmm.
So Pampas Gal, Interiors on Point. It'll be located on Eventbrite. There'll be many platforms that it will be present, and also to follow. We just started a Instagram passion project to follow us, and that all those details will be located on that page as well.
Yeah, it's actually Passion Project Official. Passion Project was already taken, sadly.
Yeah.
But Passion Project Official. So just to give people a idea of like how we're naming our projects, Passion Project is like our umbrella brand, and then Pampas and Pencils is just our podcast. So that's going to be how we're going to be separating it. And so our workshops are going to fall under Passion Project. So just to give people a rundown. So I guess what I want to start off with is just asking you how are you feeling? I feel like oftentimes we get so quickly into the business brain and we're just like, all right, this has to be done, let's go, da, 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 da. So I just want to take this moment to just be like, how are you doing, Orlandice? How are we doing? How's your day?
Now that we were supposed to start taping at 8 a.m., it is now 10.
Yes.
Running late.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm tired. I feel like I'm really tired. As an entrepreneur, you're going to get to know us that we barely sleep.
Yeah.
Or we sleep at odd hours.
We don't condone it. No. It's just,
it's just
sometimes things happen. And
just having that creative mind, you can't shut it off. I work around many entrepreneurs, and I know two of my business partners are working all hours of the night. So if I do have to reach out and be like, hey, I need this information, I know I will get it back that night. I'm juggling the drop off kids.
Yeah.
Go to site visits.
Yeah.
I know we have some pretty cool projects coming up with Interiors on Point and top contracting, so we are trying to put that in line.
Yeah.
Which I'm really pumped about, and I can't reveal just yet the design. I know the owners are very secretive of the design, but we are very pumped to start showcasing it. It is very unique design, so I'm working on that, and I'm also working on a really cool building. What you don't know about me is I have an architecture background, so I actually am working and acting as like the I'll be doing the architectural drawings
Yeah.
and the create the whole building, then not just the interior design.
Ooh,
So
that's exciting.
I'm pumped. I'm a perfectionist, so I'm
Yeah.
like, I'll hold back. I'm like, I'm just not ready just yet to reveal the design. Not just yet.
I love it.
Yeah.
You know how I just asked, how are you doing? She went into business. She went on a tangent, and this is what I mean. We like our business brain can't switch off.
And if you know me personally, I will talk your ear off about it.
No, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
But I'm feeling well, actually.
I love it. I'm glad. I'm excited for all the projects that you have. Like, I know, like we were just talking about how we're both just, even last week, we're like, should we quit this entrepreneurial life and should we get a
my
job? Because like we just feel like there's so much pressure, and at the same time, it's like we don't know if tomorrow is going to bring us, I guess, that it's not even fulfillment anymore, because I feel fulfilled every day, but it's like we don't know if it's going to pay the bills. It's like I guess it's like the bottom line, right?
I could definitely relate to that. I know there's times that I'm on the phone with my business partners and I'm like, okay, I'm throwing in the towel. I have my resume ready. I am going back to work.
Yeah.
And they're like, what? Like, don't quit. But then we start brainstorming and we start, working on the business and stuff. And like your passion just like pops right out, and you know exactly what you're talking about and stuff. And then I'm like, I'm not going back to work.
No, you could do this. We could do this.
Yeah. And it's true, because I'm going into the second year, you're going into second year, and it's the first and second year that really breaks the fuck out of you. Mm-hmm. And it's like you go through the ups and downs, and you know what? Ups and downs includes like the financial side or the problems that come with it, or if you're taking on too much and the balls being dropped. And I feel like this is kind of like this is the subject that we're going to be talking about, rolling with the punches. Like, it's not always roses, and there's a lot of thorns to get that bud of rose, right? Yeah.
Let me dive into, before we go into the bulk of what we actually want to talk about, I'll also share with you how I'm feeling. I'm feeling tired as well. I am, a night ago, it wasn't last night, the night before, I slept for an hour, which I haven't done in a long time. Like, usually if I don't sleep that much, it's like 4 hours, but it was like a 1 hour sleep night, and it was crazy. I guess I don't want to dive too deep into this, but it's just, I think when I'm very creative and all of my I guess adrenaline is like up, I don't actually feel like I need sleep. Like, I woke up from that hour and I was like, yeah, I was tired and groggy in the morning, but like the rest of the day, I didn't feel like that feeling when you're like in your college days or university days where you're dragging your feet throughout the entire day. I was like up, doing my thing, going, and I was like, wow, like I can actually still live off of 1 hour sleep. Again, not condoning, it's not healthy, but
please do not follow.
Do not follow. Do not follow in my footsteps. But yeah, and then today I slept for 6 hours, but I feel a little bit caught up in sleep, but my energy is definitely like, it could be better.
That is why we all are addicted to coffee.
We're not sponsored by Tim Hortons.
Tim Hortons, Starbucks, Nespresso.
Oh, I tried her Nespresso machine, and I don't have a Nespresso, so like I think I've only tried Nespresso like maybe 3 or 4 times in my life. Dang, it is strong. It got me through the whole night.
Till 3 a.m.
Yeah, jittery and everything. It was, I don't know. I think I can only drink like half a cup of Nespresso coffee.
So, like...
Yeah, I guess we should probably introduce ourselves.
I just want to touch too, though, but you saying that you only had 1 hour sleep, you look very... You're like great for having 1 hour sleep.
Oh, thanks. The wonders of makeup.
Yeah. You'll never know.
Yeah, I think I've found my tips and tricks because I actually used to have really deep eye bags, and I mean I still do, but the trick is in that like orange concealer, the orange concealer stick.
Yeah.
That thing hides all dark circles.
Or wear those eye pads, like those like under eyes.
Yeah, like the eye masks.
Yeah, drink lots of water.
Yeah. I'm trying to drink
spike
more
your
water.
coffee.
Spike my coffee with what? An espresso? Or Bailey's?
Actually, I have a really funny story. So every day, I think this was in the summer, every day I would have a blonde and I would add like extra shots of Nespresso.
Are you serious? Oh wow.
And I drove in the drive-through and they're like, "You want 6 shots of Nespresso?" And I was like, "I've been drinking 6 shots of Nespresso."
MG. How is your heart still alive?
My brain was wonderful.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Okay,
So I guess, yeah, we're moving into the bulk of what actually we want to talk about. So our subject today is called rolling with the punches. So, I guess rolling with the punches, what we said, like, you know, things happen, the days move on, and we're just taking things as is and just making the best out of all of our opportunities. Is that kind of, how would you take that phrase?
rolling with the punches, just going with the flow with life, hey?
Yeah.
I feel that, you know, my phone's low, so that's rolling with, that's one punch that we're rolling with before it dies. But I guess just rolling with the daily punches of life, like there's always going to be a problem that arises and like a solution that needs to be handled.
Yeah.
And I feel as being an entrepreneur, actually we need to introduce ourselves.
We didn't introduce ourselves. Oops.
No.
We should probably introduce ourselves.
we made a script
Yeah.
and we're completely going off. I think this is our true authentic.
Yeah, this is our true authentic self. This is our first podcast, so whatever. It is what it is. We're rolling with the punches.
No pun intended.
But I guess, okay, so I guess we'll, yeah.
You go
I can go
first.
first. So my name is Galee Khau. I am the owner of Pampas Gal. I started my business, I would say about a year and a half ago. My background is in marketing. I went to the U of A and studied marketing. I got my degree in marketing, and then I minored in strategic management. So while I was in school, I would say like what I was most passionate about in the marketing field was social media. And I got to work with the School of Retailing, which was really eye-opening. I didn't even know what consulting was until I took that job. But now being a consultant for 2 years in the School of Retailing, I've learned how to be a consultant for social media in my everyday life. So I'm able to help other small businesses with their social media, whether it be just like strategy or coaching. So it's been very fulfilling. What I also taught myself, I guess, was photography. So I love photography, and it's such a passion, and I've been able to integrate that passion into my business for Pampas Gal, which has been so great because I don't need to hire a photographer now. Yeah.
Beautiful work.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's been really fun. And now with Pampas Gal, it being an e-commerce, it has been such a roller coaster ride of like learning how to sell something online. Like it's not a physical store, but also like all the logistics, like housing inventory and doing the ads and all that stuff. So my life consists of photography, social media, e-commerce, and design. Yeah, designing florals with the Pampas grass and dried florals, and I guess now podcasting. So that's kind of my little repertoire of skill sets and what makes up me, but I guess maybe a little bit more personal. I've always loved helping people. Like I've always imagined myself being a consultant or a coach one day. So I guess my path, and another reason why I think this podcast means so much to me, is that I'm able to share my brain and just like put it out there in the world and just have people take it in, and hopefully I get to, build a stronger community through it, and people just like see my authentic self, including my friends and family. How about you, Orlandice? Tell me a little bit about you.
So a little bit about me. Commercial. It was in the food industry. So designing commercial, kiosks and storefronts for them across Canada.
Cool.
So I dabbled in both residential and commercial designing, and I really knew that interior design was kind of like my calling and my path. So don't get me wrong, I do love architecture. I do have a passionate for it, and I appreciate it, but I feel like I'm strong suit in the interior design.
Yeah. Well, I guess like you need to know, I mean, the fact that you know architecture and you're doing interior design, you can see like the foundation and fundamentals of interior design, right? And I think like, sure, you will probably still get foundational knowledge just by first-hand experience in interior design, but I think like because you understand and you've worked with architecture, like the first step in like building something, building a building, a structure.
Yes, and I feel like having that background as an interior design is very solid for you. I still do act as the architecture of some when I create a project. I do have one project and you can only design up until like a certain amount of square footage, and then it has to be stamped by an official engineer or architect. I am working towards my stamp, so then I could stamp my own drawings. But that's where my background in education is in. My businesses, I do own Interiors on Point. It's a design firm, and I also am co-owner of Top Contracting. My business partner is the owner of Tidum Cabinets. So we do a design and build process with our clients, designing the dream and building the dream kind of thing. And now this new adventure, the Passion Project.
So just to clarify, Interiors on Point is the design aspect, and then Top Contracting is like the execution, the contracting portion of the design, right?
Yes. So we want to bring that. So I partnered up with a contractor, and he oversees, and I assist him and work alongside him to make sure like what is designed is being executed, and he is very talented executing and creating the design. I could put it on paper and like talk about the vision, but creating and bringing it to life, it's a whole different talent itself.
Totally. And you've been doing such a great job. Like you have so many projects in the city, which is so phenomenal. Like to be able to walk in a space and be like, Orlandice built this. Like it's really cool. It's really cool to be able to experience your work.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So how I got into business is I feel like the pandemic really pushed me into business when everything hit back in, I think, was it early 2020? It's like 2 years.
2020. Yeah, 2020. Yeah.
That's when I lost, along with everybody else, when everything went for that huge shutdown and major anxiety of the uncertainty. I had a friend reach out to me and was like, I want to, renovate my kitchen. So that's how it started. And then I just kind of went with the flow and went into business from there. And her kitchen is my very first project.
It's so beautiful.
It's every time I look at it, I was like, oh my God.
I love the lights that you chose.
Oh yeah.
For that project. We'll have to maybe we'll share it in the video. Are we able to share your drawing?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. If I'm gonna edit it and we're gonna pop it into this section right here. But yes, that was a very beautiful project.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Thank you. What I'm doing now is I added podcasting to the repertoire
Yeah.
and workshops. So not only, design mom, entrepreneur, now this kind of cool adventure podcasting with you and sharing our voice of, what exactly, we are both. And what's kind of cool about us is that we are actually at the same path right now, even like timeline too, of our business, and it's kind of cool. So, yeah,
we both started our business at the same time, around the same time
through a pandemic.
Who
would know?
And so we're going through the same struggles together. Sometimes we call each other crying.
This just happened. Oh my God.
What do we do? We're like each other's emotional sponges.
And there's one thing, and this is one advice that I could, is find a mentor, find a business mentor. I do have a few. A mentor is there to stand by you and just like, hey, this is what's going to happen. This is what you need to do. This is how you're going to feel. This shit happens all the time.
How I like to frame it is a mentor gives you an objective stance on what you're going through. So we're going to feel emotions. Like, even though you're in business, it's not black and white. It's not, you're not a robot. You're still human. And so, when we go through emotions, we're like, oh my gosh, like, this is a terrible day, or this something terrible happened to me. That mentor will just be able to give you that objective stance and be like, this is all happening for a specific reason, or like, this is the solution that would be best suitable for that situation. Like, it's just objective.
And also too, to let you know that everybody goes through it. Like, nobody's perfect. So everybody going through that type of situation, they've probably went through something similar, or especially going in for your first year of business, you're going to learn so much. You're going to learn what you don't like, what you can do, what you don't want, what you're going to tweak. Like, it's ever changing for you to mold into something that is your strengths. And you're going to know your weakness. And then when you bring your weakness, you work on that weakness and what you could do better, or you know what, I'm not touching that. I'm not doing that.
Let's get a little deeper, because I think like we're very high level right now, and I'm sure our listeners probably want to hear more details. What is one of the weakness that you have found through your journey in the last like year and a half that you're trying to work on right now?
So, and I think this is where we want to touch with that subject, is rolling with the punches. That's when you feel you find your weakness. Everybody goes through your weakness. Order for you to be weak, order for you to be strong, you need to be weak first. And so I've learned that overseeing a project, like project managing and be a designer, is two huge roles. They're really big roles, and that's when you need to bring in the right set of minds for each of the roles. I love and I act as designer on all of my projects. I do want to dabble into assisting into the project managing, but to manage the full project itself and act as interior design, I feel I'm not quite there yet. So but I have pretty cool people that I work alongside that are phenomenal at that, and we work really great together. So, and that's a package that we provide, and that's the weakness that I found. Another weakness is like letting myself enjoy the process. That is a huge weakness, because you're out of control. You just have to, and this, I always say this to people, like, let's just go with the flow. Let's just, because if you're such a control freak and things are out of your control, then you get so disappointed, and you get so hard on yourself that I feel like it's out of your control. There's not much you could do. But being able to be out of that, like, take yourself out of that.
You'll just be able to gain so much freedom just from that too, right? Yeah. I definitely can relate to that. I used to be very, I used to try to be a perfectionist with a lot of stuff. And then I've just learned to fail fast and move on. And like,
Ooh.
and not to like perfect anything. So example, even yesterday, like I'll give you a real life example. Like yesterday, I was making TikToks with a colleague, and in my head, I know like what type of video content I want, but I know for a fact I will only have one take on it, maybe two takes, but my goal is not to make the perfect TikTok. It's always just capture the value and the information that I'm trying to present. Whether I'm a professional or not in videography, it doesn't matter. Just do the scene, whether it be like a 2-second recording, just go for it and upload. Because if I overthink the process, I'm not going to produce the actual thing that I'm trying to produce.
And this is one thing I tell you all the time. I remember we were looking at our graphics for our launch, and I was like, we need to step away because it's gonna literally kill us. Nothing is coming to our brain and come back to it.
Yeah.
I feel what else too works is working under pressure. That's when the creative juices are like coming to you. You're working under pressure and you're like, you put out your best work.
I love timelines. Like I love deadlines. That's how my brain works. So if I know that like, hey, this thing is due at 9 a.m. tomorrow, there is potentially procrastination leading up to like when you're supposed to actually do it. I'm so bad at school too, where I wait till last minute to study all that stuff. But just that when I'm in that pressure cooker and I'm like, this needs to be done tomorrow at 9 a.m. The creative juices flow and I'm just like, okay, this is the best that I can do right now, and then just go with it.
Another thing too is don't be so serious. I take things so, and I guess this is something that we can relate is we wear our heart on our sleeve. So anything that happens, like when it comes to like a problem and it's solved, like we solved it already, but the next day I'm still like analyzing the problem, and we need to like let it go, move on, because that is just time rented in your head that it could be space to lease out for something else. And
I try to remind myself too that nobody else cares that much. Like it sounds a little bit harsh, but it's also true, because if you were to imagine someone who is, a very busy, business owner, they're probably also just moving on and rolling with the punches too. And so let's say you did have a conflict with somebody else, and then you're all in your head analyzing the situation. The other party is probably not thinking that much into it.
No.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
And then you start creating scenarios.
Yeah, in your head.
and it just blows up, and then it's just like so little. So
Yeah. And this is where you need your mentor to be like objective, be like, hey, listen, just move on with the situation. Like you have better things to think about.
Exactly. Like we need to, start hustling, right?
Yeah.
I also want to touch on something too, rolling with the punches, is like, how do you start a business, especially? And this is one thing when it comes to owning a business, people are going to think, oh, she's doing great. Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course, like you're going to see like you touched early into the episode, is showcasing our portfolio, our achievements, what's going on. But what you really don't see behind that picture is like the struggles you really go through of just launching and going through your, like, say, first or second year of business. And it's financial because you are an entrepreneur, you don't have a steady income coming in, you have overhead.
Yeah.
You have to you need to bring in more people in order to keep the momentum going. The timeline's hitting. Are you going to be able to carry this on? And mixing it in with personal.
Yeah.
And especially as a mom of 2 girls, I try to juggle that back and forth and being able to, that's why like I put the girls to bed.
Yeah.
And I'll be working till 2 a.m.
Yeah. Because that's when you get the most peace and like the most time for yourself, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Where you can actually just hone in and just double down on the energy, the creative mind.
100%. And someone with, they would understand and relate to like the struggles of being a mom and an entrepreneur and the daily lives of punches that you get every day from business and personal, and still being able to go to bed at night and be like,
yeah,
I
you did your best today.
I did my best, and tomorrow's going to be a brand new day.
Yeah.
You know,
tomorrow's a reset.
Yeah.
With that, whatever obstacles or whatever tribulations that you're going through in that day, tomorrow is always a fresh start, and you have new strategies and new ideas that can help with the solution.
I agree.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Did not silence my phone.
I agree. And you did touch too, and this is, we entrepreneurs, every business owners always have that, I want to throw the towel in. It's getting way too hard. It's getting too steamy in here. It's getting too, like, I'm ready to run.
Yeah.
I'm ready to enter in, like, I'm ready to apply for jobs. We both, there's times that we meet in the middle and we go over the passion project. We're like, you know how I felt today? I was ready to start looking for work.
I mean, I'm still constantly considering getting a job. And I need to sneeze. I'll cut this out. Yeah, I even just like yesterday, I was like looking through Indeed and scrolling through and seeing what type of jobs are out on the market right now that my skill sets, can be translated into a job, because I have a lot of skill sets. Having a business has taught me so much in terms of management, logistics, marketing, operations.
We wear all the hats.
We wear every single
HR,
yeah,
legal,
yeah. There's so much to consider when running a business, and I think that's why our brains are always so analytical, because we're trying to ensure like we're mitigating risks, but in fact, like, risks can include legal, financials, PR. Like, there's so much that goes into it. But yeah, I just think like with that kind of mindset, like, what kind of jobs are out there? And then I'm like, no, tomorrow I have like 5 things to attend to. Even though even though I'm considering a job, I still have to put into my calendar to update my resume. And I'm like, I'd rather do the other 5 tasks than to update my resume. So the job hunting never actually starts.
And I feel like we're gonna be doing that. Just kidding. Back and forth, because we are hitting that plateau of going into our second year. And I know, like, I'm sure any business owners that's going to be listening to us right now, they're like, oh, we've been there. Yeah. We really been there. And it just, I know it gets better as we go, because we start learning, we start paving the way, putting our terms and conditions in place. This is what's going to work. Mm-hmm. This is what I want to take on. This is what type of, like, atmosphere and design work I want to gravitate to. This is me, right? Yeah. So the first year is just it's a learning curve.
Yes.
Yeah, and you need to learn that curve.
And I think like what our goal is with this podcast is, even though that both Orlandice and I have very different perspectives on how we started our business, the struggles and the maybe like the struggles of having a business, we can both relate to it. And we hope that, like, if you're looking to start a business, that you can listen to this podcast and just feel like normalized for the things that you might be going through. And if you haven't started a business yet and you're planning to start a business, hopefully this podcast will just be able to shine light on what you may encounter or maybe may not encounter. But just to kind of give people oversight of what everything is like in the authentic behind the scenes of having a business.
It's okay to feel what you're feeling, because we all are feeling it.
Yeah.
And as entrepreneurs and getting to pick other, business and entrepreneurs' brains, we all go through the same thing. I was even just feeling so overwhelmed and overworked, and just feeling, over defeated.
Yeah.
Or over defeated.
Feeling defeated.
Yeah. When you just can't get out of bed, you're like, I just feel defeated today. Yeah. But it's rolling with the punches. Yeah. It's how you get out of that bed and just put on your clothes and get out of that door and just put on, you're like, it's a new day.
It's like going to the gym. Sometimes you don't want to go, but it's like, it's worth it when you go. That's what I need to do next, is to add the gym back into my schedule, because I know I need it. Like, even if it's not just for like health reasons, I know that my stress levels are so high that I need like a method to like de-stress, and I know the gym helps me clear my mind. So there's a whole mental aspect too that I know I will benefit. I just haven't added it back into my schedule,
and you need to. Like if you are strongly going into entrepreneur, you're going to notice when you start your business, you're going to be hitting the pavement running. And you're going to be working because you want it to work so well. But there's one advice that I do want to is like, take time for yourself, take time for your personal life, take time to enjoy the lives, because life is way too short, and it'll just be passing you by, and just enjoy the process of it. No matter how rough it is. I would love to hear, maybe both of us, we could share like what is one goal that we're going to be executing, whether it be business or personal, in the next week, and then we can touch on it again next week and see like where we're at. I think that'd be cool to. So my goal is to get through all of my to-do list. It's pretty long.
But isn't that ongoing though? Isn't it to-do list? Isn't it? Like, what do you mean by that?
You know what? I'm gonna change my goal for my goal is to just try to take time for myself and like enjoy. That's my goal. Like I'm trying bits and pieces to take time for myself. Even if I just reach out to a friend. Or
that's so big.
Friend, go see my parents, or just like every day I reach out to somebody and just like, okay. And then you don't hear from me. Sorry. For like a month.
To maintain that social aspect.
But it's just trying to connect to our loved ones and stuff too. So that I've been pretty good that way. I want to continue that because sometimes when you become an entrepreneur and you kind of bury your head in the sand. And then life just goes past you.
Totally.
My
goal is to go to the gym.
While I'm here, do phone calls.
So I'm gonna at least go at least once. I'm gonna be easy on myself and not like make a big goal, like as in like 3 times before you listen to the next podcast. But I'm gonna try to go at least once before the next podcast, and hopefully. I'm pretty sure I could do that.
Yeah, you could.
That's very easy.
And then sit in the sauna.
Yeah, if they have a sauna. No, I go to Fit for Less, so they don't have a sauna there. But I think that's a good goal. And I think that's basically it. I think our podcast went well for the first time.
Yeah, well, just thanks for reaching out and joining us. We our next episode is heel strapping, and after that we actually have a guest host on the next episode. So, and we will be picking other people's brains, bringing people's point of views in. So definitely stop by and hang out with us.
Yes, and give us feedback. if you can like even just shoot us a message that you listened to us on Instagram, and just let us know that you're listening, that would be really cool to see, because we can't see who's listening to us. We can only see that we got listeners. But I think that would be really nice to just hear some feedback. Let us know if you got any golden nuggets from this talk, or maybe what you would like to hear more about between the two of us. Maybe more personal stories about a certain topic.
Well, I know the first episode is just introducing you, getting to know us, but the next episodes we're gonna get
a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
So let us know how what you think, and we're so excited to embark on this journey. Yeah.